Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Jinger Duggar schools Jeremy Vuolo on family tree. Jinger Duggar and Jeremy Vuolo gave followers more insight into Jason Duggar and Maddie Grace Jones' wedding. The couple talked about the event on the recent episode of their podcast, which turned into a bit of a lesson for Jeremy. With Jason married, there are only 6 unmarried siblings left. Only 3 of them are adults though. That led to the conversation about who would be the next to marry. Jinger and Jeremy agree it's likely James Duggar, though Johanna Duggar did get consideration from her big sister. Given the age gap between the siblings, Jinger was quick to point out that the second generation of Duggars could also be getting married in less than a decade. Jeremy wasn't quite prepared for that reality check. Jinger Duggar reminds Jeremy Vuolo of Mackenzie Duggar's age. While discussing marriage and the ones that could be next in the Duggar family, Jinger Duggar gave Jeremy Vuolo a reality check. Jeremy seemed shocked when she mentioned their oldest niece was 14, she is actually 15. They likely don't see Josh and Anna Duggar's kids much, so Mackenzie Duggar's age surprised him. Mackenzie is close in age to Jordan Grace and Josie Duggar, and the girls are best friends. Mackenzie could get married before her aunts, which Jinger hinted at with her comments. Remember, there are over 30 Duggar grandchildren, with even more on the way. Jinger Duggar expecting third child. Earlier this month, Jinger Duggar revealed she was expecting her third child with Jeremy Vuolo. She found out just before Jana Duggar's wedding in August, and when the couple told the world, she was already well into her second trimester. The gender of their baby is still a secret, but they have teased a gender reveal coming soon. Jinger hinted it may be a boy this time, but we suspect it will be another little girl. A Duggar baby boom may be in the works for 2025, with Jedidiah Duggar and Caitlin Nakatso kicking it off with the birth of their twin girls. Jinger and Jeremy will add another little one in March. We suspect more pregnancies will be announced soon, especially with 2 recent weddings. Honeymoon babies are common in the Duggar family, especially when a brother marries. Much more is coming for the Duggar family, and it will be interesting to see what the next several years bring. In the Duggar-Vuolo household, life was anything but conventional. Jinger Duggar, raised in the famous Duggar family with its sprawling family tree and unique values, found herself in an interesting spot, explaining her family tree to her husband, Jeremy Vuolo. Jeremy, a former soccer player turned pastor, was used to a simpler family dynamic and was often left puzzled by the Duggar family's intricate web of relationships. But that day, as they sat down in their living room with a large chart spread before them, Jinger was determined to finally clear things up for him. "All right, Jeremy," Jinger began with a smile, holding a large marker like a pointer. "Let's start with the basics. The Duggar family tree is pretty big and branching out more every year. But don't worry, I got this," she chuckled. Jeremy leaned forward, looking intently at the paper sprawled across the coffee table. It was filled with lines, names, and dates, an extensive map of the Duggars and their connections. He rubbed his chin, already looking confused. "Okay, so let's start with your parents, right?" Jinger nodded. "Yes, so my parents are Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar. They had 19 kids, and I'm the 6th born." Jeremy's eyes widened. 19 kids, I still can't get over that. Jinger laughed. "Believe me, I know. It's a big number, and it's not even counting all the in-laws, nieces, nephews, and extended family." She gestured toward the chart. "This is where it starts to get tricky, but stick with me." With that, Jinger guided Jeremy through each sibling, giving a quick synopsis of their lives and personalities. First, there's Josh, the eldest, then Jana and John David. They're twins, remember? And after them comes Jill, then me, then Jessa. She rattled off names with ease, each name prompting a memory or story that she shared with Jeremy. He was struck by the differences in personality that each sibling seemed to have. "It's like every Duggar has their own thing going on. How did you guys all stay close with so many people?" "It was chaotic sometimes," Jinger admitted. "But we were homeschooled, and Mom and Dad were really strict about family values. We spent a lot of time together, and there were buddy systems too. We had a lot of responsibility with younger siblings, so we just kind of bonded." Jeremy raised an eyebrow, amused. "Buddy systems? Like a big sibling taking care of a smaller one?" "Exactly," Jinger replied. "For example, I was in charge of helping Joy with her schooling and making sure she was following our routines. We all helped each other out." As they continued, Jinger gave Jeremy the inside scoop on each sibling's unique qualities. Jessa, for example, is fiercely independent. She's definitely a natural leader. And Joy is the adventurous one. She's always been eager to break the mold and take on new challenges. Sounds like you were all bound to be individuals, even in a big group, Jeremy noted. Jinger nodded thoughtfully. That's true. I think the world looks at us and sees this one big family mentality, but we're all so different. Even though we were raised with the same beliefs and values, each one of us is unique. Then they moved on to the next generation, the many Duggar grandkids. Jinger had prepared Jeremy for this part, but it still amazed him how rapidly the family tree was expanding. I'm guessing this is where it gets even trickier, right? Jinger laughed. Oh, you have no idea. So, Josh and Anna have the most kids so far. They got 7. And then there's Jessa and Ben, they're up to 4 now. Jeremy's head was spinning as she continued listing off the grandkids' names, but he was genuinely intrigued. Each grandchild represented another branch of the family, and Jinger was incredibly detailed about how each sibling's parenting style influenced their kids. Wow, I can barely keep up with one child, and you guys have practically a whole town here, he joked, clearly in awe. It does feel like that sometimes, Jinger agreed with a smile. But there's so much joy in it too. Every family gathering feels like a small festival, with kids running everywhere and catching up with everyone's latest news. Jeremy then asked a question that Jinger had been waiting for. So, what's it like being a Duggar now in Los Angeles, away from Arkansas and everything? Jinger paused, collecting her thoughts. It's different. I'll always love my family and where I come from, but I found that I can still hold onto my roots while embracing new experiences. It's part of why I wanted to show you the family tree. I'm proud of it, but it's also something I've grown beyond. Jeremy understood what she meant. It sounds like you're creating a new legacy with some pieces of the past and some of the present. Exactly, Jinger replied. I want our daughter to know where she comes from, but also to feel free to explore who she wants to be. It's like building our own little branch of the family tree, with both Duggar and Vuolo roots. They sat in silence for a moment, gazing at the elaborate family tree. Jinger's eyes were warm, reflecting her pride and her journey. Her love for her family was evident, but so was her independence. Jeremy gave her a thoughtful look. You know, I used to think that such a big family would feel like a restriction, like it would be impossible to be your own person. But seeing how you describe them, it's like each Duggar found their own way within the family. Jinger smiled, touched. I think we did. I know I did, especially. There are moments where the family expectations can feel heavy, but ultimately, my family shaped me and I love them for it. Jeremy put an arm around her, pulling her close. Well, you're teaching me a lot here. Not just about family trees, but about how people grow even in such unique circumstances. Jinger laughed. Well, I'm glad I could help with the lesson. The Duggar family tree is a lot, but it's also full of love, resilience, and, yes, a little chaos. The couple looked over the chart once more, now shared in laughter and understanding. Jinger's roots had grown deep, her branches had stretched wide, and in this new chapter with Jeremy, she was free to continue blossoming into someone entirely her own. As the evening wore on, they put away the chart, feeling a bit lighter. Jinger had shared not only her family's complex history, but also her heart, showing Jeremy the rich tapestry that had helped shape who she was. It was a part of her past that she'd carry with her into the future, a blend of Duggar and Vuolo that would keep growing, one new branch at a time.